Hey, for Bible, the second journey map, Acts 15 through 18, verse 22 and a half. That's what I put up there because that's kind of when the first or the second one really ends and the next one starts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through mapping, and then through the mapping we'll review what happened. Now again, I would love for you guys just to be able to map on a clean sheet of paper. If we think of this as Asia Minor, which is now Turkey, we're coming down around Africa down here. We got Cyprus. We have this coming around here. Actually, you know what? There's kind of like this little peninsula there, and then it kind of comes down, kind of looks like a hand, has that dive inside there and so up. And we got the island of Crete. We got a bunch of islands in here. That looks pretty good. All right, now, first of all, let's go over some of the areas. First of all, this area is Cilicia, okay? And on your map, I think I have them in sort of rounded rectangles. So, Cilicia, okay? And earlier when they went up through here, there was a place called Phrygia, P-H-R-Y, Phrygia. Up here is Galatia. Over here is, technically it's Asia Minor, but they call it Asia. They call it both. A-S-I-A. We have Bithynia. Both Asia and Bithynia were places they said don't go yet. Mysia and Macedonia. Now, an extra credit one gets mentioned. And I don't know if I ever say it right, Achai or something like that. And it kind of just, it's this area here, A-C-H-A-I-A. I'm not going to put a rectangle around it because it's going to mess up something there in the future of this map here. I think I've hit all the areas that we'll talk about. There are more areas, but for this map, there we go. Here's our Mediterranean Sea, put a little blue in there, okay? Now, I might use that blue for the towns too. When they take off from Syrian Antioch. And the two guys that are leaving are Paul and Silas, because Paul and Barnabas had a disagreement about John Mark, who Paul said was a quitter and didn't want him to take him along this time. So where do they go? They go up through Cilicia, and who's Paul, is from Tarsus, which is right there. I won't put that on the map right now because you don't have to know it right now, but it's a good thing to know. He probably stopped there, who knows. And first place is the furthest place they went on their first one. So that was Derbe. Then they go to Lystra. They pick up Timothy. And then they go up through Iconium. And then Pisidian Antioch. P-A, Pisidian Antioch. And then they go through places like Phrygia to Galatia, and they're cruising around. And the Holy Spirit says, don't go to Asia yet. Don't go to Bithynia yet. So he goes through Mysia to Troas. Now, the little historical fact, the ancient city of Troy is close to there, and people thought that was the same town, but it's not. Anyway, we got Troas there. Then He has the vision. So I'm going to put it like a little thought bubble thing. He has a vision of a guy, the man from Macedonia, saying, hey, come over here. So he gets on a ship. He stops in Samothrace, that's an island there, and then hits Neapolis. First time he's in what we call Europe, because this little cut right there is what would start Europe. Then he goes to Philippi, which is right near Neapolis. I got a P there. And that is where he baptizes Lydia, where she's kind of head of her household. It's where they get jailed because they cast out a demon from the girl who's supposedly telling the future for people, fortune teller. And then the jailer and his whole family become committed to Christ when they find out that no one escaped, and then the leaders had them beaten and then had to really apologize and sort of walk them out of town and say that everything's okay. So then, this is all in Macedonia. So the next place they go, there's two A's in a row. The first one is Amphipolis, A-M, Amphipolis. The next one's A-P, Apollonia. And you'll see the word Apollo in there, so probably the god Apollo was worshipped there. And then they go out to Berea. Oh, sorry. They go to Thessalonica. Today would be called Thessaloniki. And later on he writes to the people there in the book of Thessalonians. And they're the ones who, this happens over and over where he convinces a bunch of people, and then jealous Jews will kind of drive him out of town, and then he goes over to Berea and he kind of brags about them being more thoughtful. And then some people from Thessalonica catch up with them and they beat up Jason and that kind of thing. And then he gets sort of snuck out to the coast, and he comes around to, this isn't written real well here, but I think this should bump out just a touch. Okay. I'm going to come in like that. And so he comes around the corner to Athens. Athens has gorgeous ruins today, probably the greatest in the world. And that's where he meets up with the top dogs, the real smart people. And he gets invited to their really unique group, the Areopagus, where it's really top dogs, and convinces some of them, and some of them say, you can forget it. The Epicurean philosophers say, nah. I'm sorry, the Stoic philosophers say, nah. The Epicureans were like, do whatever you feel is great. Anyway, he battled them with their minds. And then he goes to Corinth, which is right here. I'm going to put a little C right there. And Corinth is on this isthmus. And if I filled this in here, there's Italy's boot and the island of Sicily over there. Rome would be up here. Priscilla and Aquila were booted out of Rome, and he meets them here in Corinth. So Christianity had gotten to Rome before Paul. And in Corinth, leading city in the area, very wealthy, a lot of stuff going on. What would happen is trade routes would come, maybe from Rome or whatever, let's say come down like this, and instead of going around here, which was full of peril, it was bad seas, it was a lot of pirates, stuff out there. Instead of going that way, they actually would go right into here, unload their stuff, they ox cart or whatever, carry it across to tell you here in a minute, but it's a town here that Paul goes to on his way out. And then from there, they actually put it on another ship and then bring it to other places. That might seem odd, but yeah, it's rough seas over here. Okay, and so they actually gained quite a bit of notoriety and wealth from having the trade come through them. So Corinth is also where God said, you can hang out here. For a year and a half, he was good. And he didn't have to worry for his life. Now, he was preaching and teaching with the Jews, and then they had finally had enough, and so he had had enough. He said, I'm leaving, and he goes next door. Now, the ruler of the synagogue went with him. He was a believer. And then later on, they tried to get him on being accused of, just something religious, believing in, the wrong God or following the wrong religious law. And that's where the judge of the area says, I can't believe you guys brought this to me. This is a nothing law for us Romans. And the people that wanted to put Paul away beat up their lawyer, basically. And then he is going to head back. He wants to go back to Jerusalem. So he goes across the isthmus to Cenchrea. I'm going to put a C right there. And then that's where he shaves his head. And on the way back, Priscilla and Aquila go with him. They head through the islands here, and they get to Ephesus in Asia. And they're really digging his message, and he's like, yeah, but I need to get back. And he wanted to get back, I believe, in time for Passover, because he wanted to be in Jerusalem when a lot of people were there again. So he says, I'll come back. He leaves Priscilla and Aquila there. Another extra credit, there's a little island right here that has, I'm going to put an R on it. On his way back, he would have stopped here, and it's the island of Rhodes. You should look that up. The Colossus of Rhodes is a legendary statue that was in its harbor. It was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. You should look it up. Anyway, he would have gone probably here, probably below the island. Then he landed in Caesarea. He goes up, because it's uphill, to Jerusalem. After he's there, he goes down, because it's downhill, back to Syrian Antioch. All right, that's his full thing. All right, hopefully that helps out. I'm going to make another one where we're going to do it super fast, and I want you to be able to review by drawing it and filling in maybe just the first letters of things and seeing how quickly you can do it. All right?